Okay, we're back. It's part 2.
Yeah. De.
Well, de.
Toi.
Yeah, French. Okay, so it's Jen.
And Todd.
And like we said, it's part 2. Honey, I don't have any bubbles. And although we put the other kids to bed, this one's being stubborn, and she's insisting to give her bubbles.
She wants to record too.
No, she wants bubbles.
She wants to go to bed.
Didn't you hear her? She said, boo-boo, dada.
No bubbles.
Oh, go on.
It's sleepy go bye-bye's time.
Come on, lay down. So we'll be attempting to put this little one to sleep. While we talk to you about Gotham.
Gotham by Gaslight, and then eventually From Hell.
Yeah, if we ever get to it. Gotham by Gaslight. We just got so much to talk about. I didn't even realize. But we don't have that much to talk about From Hell, so that's why we put 2 together. Okay, so where did we leave off?
We were I was talking about the story, and like we had talked about Hugo Strange, we had talked about like Jack the Ripper, Two-Face,
we talked about Batman going to jail.
Yeah.
Okay, so about Batman going to jail. So Catwoman knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And I don't remember when she figures it out pretty early on. No, honey, no bubbles. Can you go get her some freaking bubbles?
No, it's bedtime.
Yeah, well, maybe she would go to bed after we gave her bubbles.
Me. I'll put her to sleep.
All right, here you go. Good luck. All she wants is bubbles, bubbles, bubbles.
Oh, there's no bubbles.
That's her new favorite thing because she learned that from her speech therapist. How to sign bubbles, and so she's always constantly asking for bubbles, and she's just very fascinated, and so she's starting to like say bubbles almost, and so we think bubbles is going to be her first word, so it's really cute, and I feel bad denying her bubbles. I'm getting her bubbles.
No, it's bedtime.
I don't care if it's bedtime. What's the point in her using her sign language to ask for things if she doesn't get them?
But it's bedtime.
But she's asking for it, and if she keeps learning to ask for things, and that when she uses her sign language to ask for things, she gets things, maybe she'll start signing more.
Okay.
But
I'm not blowing them.
That's what we want to teach her. When you use your sign language and ask for things, you get things. Bubbles. There you go, honey. There's your bubbles. Look at how happy she is. How could you deny her this sweet happiness? Okay, so, can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay, so, she knows that he's Batman, and that would be, like, the perfect alibi, that if he told everybody that he was Batman, then he wouldn't be in jail for being Jack the Ripper, because he can't possibly be both.
Yeah, like, people have seen Batman getting his ass beat by Jack the Ripper.
Right.
Like, there's no way he could be both. And that would clear him of the murder.
Yeah.
But then he would probably just go back to jail for being a vigilante, I guess.
And everybody would know his secret that he was Batman.
And, like, Jim Gordon, I think, said it was cool with him being Batman. It was cool with Batman being a thing. He said something along the lines of, like, like, when Civil War, when the American Civil War was going down, like, we tolerated, stray cats because they, like, ate the rats, but then sometimes we ate the cats.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't like that.
Yeah. It was just, this is a weird shit that James Gordon says in this movie.
Yeah. Ew, it's lemons.
Cough drop.
Yeah.
I like the lemons. Lemons.
I'm cutting that out because that was gross. So Catwoman's like, please, like, you have to tell them you're Batman. Like, it's super important. Gotham needs Batman. You can't be in freaking jail. There's gonna be all these women freaking murdered. Like, and so she's like, well, if you're not gonna tell, I will. And he's like, nobody's gonna believe you. And she's like, they'll believe this. And she has a batarang or something.
Oh yeah, she has one of those batarangs. So she goes to tell like James Gordon that like Bruce Wayne is Batman. Meanwhile, Batman like fucking is waving his money around, and he's like, "I'll give you $200 if you give this message to Alfred Pennyworth." And it's just like a bunch of stick figures doing karate moves.
Yeah.
Which somehow means bring my fucking steampunk Batmobile or Batcycle to this alleyway. Because apparently, like, I know that the final battle is going to take place at the stupid Ferris wheel. And
no. Because doesn't he go to the house?
Oh, yeah, he goes to the house first, and then he needs the motorcycle to get to the Ferris wheel. Sorry, I forgot. So, whilst in jail, he has discovered who Jack the Ripper is. And he goes, he escapes from jail.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he escapes from jail by pretending to be a cop despite not having a cop mustache and yells like some like Irish profanity at the cops. Escapes from jail, then goes to James Gordon's house, just fucking magically finds some scratches on the floor that leads into a secret room.
And that's when you think it's the fucking wife.
Yeah. Barbara Gordon Sr. is there, and she's like, no one's allowed to go in that room. Goes into the room, and you see, like, oh, well, James Gordon was, like, an army surgeon, and James Gordon was, like, a prize fighter, and James Gordon was in the American Civil War, and James Gordon has all these clippings of Jack the Ripper, and James Gordon has all these body parts in jars, and it's like, what?
Yeah. We should talk about towards the beginning of the movie. At one point, James Gordon woke up from this terrible nightmare he had.
Yeah, because we have not talked about Gordon really at all.
No. He wakes up from this I thought you were putting her to sleep.
Yeah, she got up and she snuck out.
Yeah.
I got her.
He wakes up from this terrible nightmare, and basically the nightmare was that Barbara got killed by Jack the Ripper. Mm-hmm. And so when Batman goes to the house, you're like, there's no way it could be him. Like, why the heck would he have nightmares about his wife being killed if it was him? And, like, it just doesn't make any sense for it to be him. Like he's married. Why is he killing these women? Like, doesn't he have, like, his children?
Yeah, they make mention to the kids, but they're never shown.
Right. And it's just like, this makes absolutely no sense. And so you think it has to be the wife, because that's the only logical explanation. Nope.
I did not think it was the wife. I was just, like, shell-shocked that they were, like... Because I thought back to the hair thing, where it's like, James Gordon's got, like, the Irish, like, orangey red hair. And they showed Jack the Ripper having, like a super muted gray-brown hair. It was like, there's no way, unless that was just an artist's mistake, and it must have been an artist's mistake.
I was just under the assumption that if it was a woman, Jack the Ripper was wearing a wig.
Mm-hmm. So, you have Barbara Gordon Sr. saying, like, oh, he's doing God's work, he's doing holy work, and, you know, he doesn't hurt us, referring to her and the kids. He just burns the sin out of us, and then it shows, like, half of her face is, like, all, like, burned, scarred, and crap.
Or is that when Catwoman comes? Because doesn't she come? Because she goes to find James Gordon. Oh,
she went to go talk to James Gordon at the fair.
Yeah.
Batman went to Gordon's house, because she didn't know that he was Jack the Ripper yet. Mm-hmm. And so you have the exposition of, like, Barbara Gordon explaining how she knew James Gordon was Jack the Ripper. She knew he was killing the women, and that he has, like, physically burned her and possibly the children. It's like offhand mentioned, but you never see the kids in the movie.
Right.
She then tries to attack Batman, and Batman, like, incapacitates her. And then he's like, oh, I won't be able to make it to the fairgrounds in time. And then the little Dickie, Jason, and Tim, like, bring the goddamn steampunk bat cycle with Alfred. So at that point, I guess they know he's Batman, I guess. That's not really, like, expanded upon.
I have no idea.
James Gordon tries to kill Catwoman. Batman shows up. Big fight on the Ferris wheel. A fire starts, and they just kind of leave her on the Ferris wheel that's burning to fight each other. So, luckily, Catwoman is, capable of rescuing herself. Barely.
Yeah, because she's, like, tied up, and she was drugged.
Oh, yeah, and James Gordon, like, drugs her with, like, a solution that's, like, part heroin and stuff. So he's gonna, like, cut her open, and she's like, if you kill me, it proves Bruce Wayne isn't fucking Jack the Ripper. And he's like, oh, I don't care, I want to do it anyways. And then he explains why he's Jack the Ripper. And he basically says, and I'm gonna paraphrase, and then I'm gonna do an exact quote, because the exact quote is just the real kick in the teeth of how fucking awful this movie is.
Hey.
So he basically says, like, he hates prostitutes because during the American Civil War, his friends all got, like, syphilis and STDs and, like, died or, like, went crazy or whatever. The diseases destroyed their bodies and minds. So that's why he hates prostitutes. And then he goes off to say that he hates women. And then he goes off to say that he hates wives because, and quote, they're the worst kind of prostitutes. They sell themselves too cheap. That is word for word what this guy says.
Which doesn't make any sense.
And he kills these women with his left hand because the nuns used to beat him into being right-handed, which was totally a thing.
Right.
And so he uses his left hand to kill the women. That's Jack's work.
Yeah. And you don't... And that's another reason why nobody had any idea it was him, because they were looking for a lefty. And isn't Hugo Strange a lefty?
I think so. I think they make a mention of that. Because, again, like, the first half of this movie is, like, really trying to drill it in your head that it was Hugo Strange.
Yeah.
Before they M. Night Shyamalan you. And it's like, oh, look, it was James Gordon.
I'm sorry, I just still can't believe that.
Yeah. And then, like, Batman, still getting his ass beat, does, like, some Houdini bullshit and handcuffs James Gordon to the burning Ferris wheel area. And he's like, I paid Houdini, like, $300 for that move. And it's like, why are you waving your fucking money dick again? Like, because he does this at least, like, 4 times in the movie. And then James Gordon at that point decides, like, well, I guess I'm just going to walk into the flames and kill myself instead of going to jail. Which I hope that, they kept that evidence room in James Gordon's house. Otherwise, like, nothing is accomplished. So then we get to, like, the ass end of the movie. Alfred shows up with the 3 boys. Catwoman's okay because she had to rescue herself. And they all get on this carriage, and Alfred's like, I adopted these boys for you. And Bruce is like, oh, cool. And they, like, ride off, and the movie ends. Without acknowledging the fact that, A, Bruce Wayne has escaped from prison. B, Commissioner Gordon is dead. And there's, apart from his, like, trophy room in his house, there's no evidence linking him that he is Jack the Ripper, apart from Catwoman's testimony. And since they didn't believe Catwoman that he was, shagging her, like, are they gonna believe, it's just very open-ended.
It just ends, like...
There should have been, like, 10 more minutes of this movie that was like, and then everything worked out because of this, 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 and this.
Because they, like, snuck Batman back into jail, but, like, Catwoman had been, like, assaulted and drugged, and so obviously he wasn't Jack the Ripper. Like, just something showing that, like, Bruce Wayne was innocent, but instead they just ride off in a carriage and everybody's happy.
Yeah, it just kind of, like, abruptly ends.
Yeah.
And it's, like, really awkward.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. So, I had told you this before we started recording, and you told me to save it for this because you wanted a general reaction for the podcast.
Yeah, I wanted to, like...
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Gotham by Gaslight is an actual, like, DC Comics story. It is a graphic novel. And I did some research, and the movie differs significantly.
Yeah, that's all you told me, and I was like, oh no, like, I want you to, like, be able to genuinely tell me this story.
Alright. So, Bruce Wayne comes to, like, Victorian Gotham. He's been studying under Sigmund Freud, who was, like, that pioneer of psychology. And Gordon, like, gives him, like, a bunch of case files, including a man who had poisoned his wife and then poisoned himself, but the poison had not killed him and instead left him with a permanent grin.
Oh.
So, regular Gotham by Gaslight does have the Joker.
Gotcha.
He then meets a man named Jacob Packer, who is, like, a family friend, buddy of his dad's and everything, and he's, like, the attorney type. He's the Harvey Dent-ish character.
Okay.
And there's a bloody knife found underneath Bruce Wayne's bed that leads people to believe that Bruce Wayne is Jack the Ripper despite him being fucking Batman. And he realizes that it was not, he's obviously, it was not him. And he ultimately has to prove that it's revealed that it's Jacob Packer.
Right. So I was technically right.
Yeah, so Jacob Packer is the Jack the Ripper character. And James Gordon is not Jack the Ripper, is not an evil serial killer who hates prostitutes because they gave his buddies STDs.
Right.
That was just a whole bunch of bullshit made up for the cartoon. It's really bizarre and really awkward why the cartoon would go to this length.
Yeah.
Because, like, a faithful adaptation, I feel, would make more sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it would appease the comic book fans instead of just, like, having this situation where we're just like, what the hell?
Right. It's happening and why is it happening and such.
And it's just a lot of, like, kind of nonsense. And then there's, like, a part 2 that has, like an original villain, and it has nothing to do with Jack the Ripper at all. It's just like a sequel.
Oh.
And he had, like, given up being Batman for a little bit.
In the comic, does, like, Batman still get, like, arrested?
Yeah.
Okay. Does Catwoman try to reveal that he's Batman?
I could not get those details because I could not find the actual comic book. I just read, like, a plot summary.
Gotcha.
Because I couldn't, like,
I'm just trying to find out what exactly the differences are. Like, from movie to comic book.
Pretty much everything.
I was gonna say, but it seems like it's pretty great. Like, the difference, and it's just like, why? Like, why? Tell us why you did this!
It's like the Romeo and Juliet movie that is, like, the Leonardo DiCaprio one that takes place in, like, modern day.
No, I haven't seen that.
No?
No. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe a better would be, like, a series of unfortunate events movie.
Oh, yeah. See, like, the Lemony Snicket movie, how it's, like...
No.
We're gonna take, like, the first 3 books, and then...
Mash them together,
and then, like, take, like, an ending...
that never happens.
Yeah. and just like, here you go. The other like 10 books in the series, not important at all. Don't even fucking worry about it.
Yeah, seriously.
That's a pretty good analogy. But it's just like holy crap.
Yeah.
This movie.
But it's really funny and entertaining.
It's entertaining because it's fucking bad, though.
No.
Like, it's not genuinely funny.
Yes, it is.
When
you find out that James Gordon is Jack the Ripper.
That's not funny, though. That makes you just sit there and be like, what the hell did I miss? Like, there's no lead up, there's no clues. It's just Batman walks into a fucking murder room.
Yeah.
With like 15 minutes left in the movie.
The 3 kids. And it's just like, what are like Jason, Dick, and Tim all doing together?
That's just convenience.
And then it's I don't know. I thought it was funny.
I do like that they fit so many like Batman supporting characters in this movie.
Yeah.
I was like half expecting like more though. Like I was expecting to see a Joker.
Well, you were supposed to.
A penguin would have made a shit ton of sense because of the way that asshole
dresses. Yeah. But yeah, that's Gotham by Gaslight, and I don't know. We'll put a link in the description if you want to buy it or check it out or whatever, because, you know.
I mean, if you're a Batman fan,
you probably don't want to watch it.
I mean, I have no problem with Elseworld stories. I love like Justice League Gods and Monsters, which is an Elseworld story.
Mm-hmm.
That's a movie we should pick up and check out.
Okay.
Because it's an alternate universe thing. But I'll tell you about it later. But the Elseworld stuff doesn't bother me as much as, like, I'm not like a Batman purist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there can be variations. I'm fine. But this is just so out there.
It's not, though. Because, like you said, like, they got the 3 kids, they got the bat cycle, they got the grappling gun, they got Batman and he can, like, fight, they got a Catwoman, they got a Poison Ivy. Like, what more do you want? I don't know. If you like murder mysteries, watch it. If you're tired of, like, superhero movies all being just, like, action-packed crazy, you should watch it.
I will say you should watch it.
For the experience.
But don't expect to love it.
Yeah, don't expect to love it.
I'm saying, like, I will never say, like, never watch this
No,
movie.
it's a good experience to have. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh.
People worked on this movie.
Yeah.
Some people put some love into this movie. Some people kind of were, like, lazy about it.
But, like, I wouldn't say don't ever watch this. Like, this is an experience you shouldn't have. Like, this was terrible. I wish I could. Like, not at all. Like, I think if you're looking for something fun to put on, watch it. Don't put it on for your children. That's one thing you don't want to watch. You know, any Jack the Ripper thing you don't want to put in front of your children.
Yeah, I mean, there's a generous amount of blood. There's partial nudity.
We still gotta get to From Hell, so.
But, I mean, it's
Anyway, so you couldn't find the comic book anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
If I find it, I will put that link in the description as well.
Alright.
In case you want to, like, compare the two, or in case, like, anybody is interested in the idea but not in the movie. Just so that you guys can kind of let us know what you think.
And for you action figure aficionados out there, there is a Batman Gotham by Gaslight action figure made by Mattel, because I found it at the store the other day.
Put that in the link as well in the description, because we want you guys to, like,
experience it.
Yeah, experience it. And
even if, like, my experience wasn't positive, like, that isn't to say that yours isn't more like Jennifer, where you will find something to enjoy.
You're picky, too, about stuff like that, and I'm not. Not only that, but, like, we'd like to hear your thoughts. So please, 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 like, leave us comments about, like, what you thought, or, like, if you picked up the action figure, or if you have the comic book, like, if you note the differences, like, we'd love to hear from you about this topic, because we are very on two different sides.
Ow.
Well, she was getting caught in the cord. Okay. So from hell.
Yeah.
Because, holy crap, have we talked about Gotham by Gaslight.
There's enough of Gotham by Gaslight. I genuinely enjoyed From Hell.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll let you talk about this more so, because I've seen it a lot, and so, and it's quite an older movie.
2001.
Yeah, so, you know, most people have probably seen it by now, and so, because this is, like, technically your first time watching the whole thing, I'd rather hear, like, your thoughts.
Well, right off the bat, when I was watching it, I probably spent more time than I'd like to admit trying to figure out who the female lead was, because I had not looked at the box. And I'm just like, who is this? It's so familiar. It's so familiar. And then, like, when I had taken the disc out of, like, the Xbox and put it back in the case, I was like, oh, it's Heather Graham. Felicity Shagwell. Austin Powers.
Oh. Did not make that connection.
She's in a bunch of other stuff, but I figured that's the one that you would recognize.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you said that, I was like, oh.
So it is based on the a graphic novel. Alan Moore is involved. Alan Moore is crazy. He's also, like, Watchmen and The Killing Joke.
Okay, stop talking about your stuff and talk about From Hell already.
Alright, I enjoyed it. It is another murder mystery. Who is Jack the Ripper? With surprisingly similar beats to Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah. Where
you have Johnny Depp's an inspector character whose name escapes me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And...
because they just kept calling him Inspector.
Yeah, that's why I say he's, like, an inspector guy. So Inspector Johnny Depp is, like... checking out, like, these, like, murder of these prostitutes and, like,
no, start with the opium.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm guessing.
He's addicted to opium, like, hardcore. He's just hanging out in the opium dens, getting high, and then Hagrid shows up and is like, come on, buddy, we gotta solve murder mysteries.
Why is he addicted to opium?
Oh, because his wife died in childbirth.
With the child.
And the child also died stillborn, so...
and then...
He has some issues he's not
but right. He also has something else.
He also has, like, crazy psychic visions.
Yeah.
Where he can, like, see premonitions.
So that's another reason why he sometimes gets high, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes it helps. So... that's neat. I thought that was a neat little spin. Not the opium, but, like, the premonitions. Like, drugs are bad.
I was gonna say, not the wife and child dying.
No, not that either. Like, drugs are bad. Childbirth deaths are bad. Like, it's not good.
Pretty sad.
It's real sad. I mean, yeah, it's pretty sad. So... you have this group of prostitutes, and, like, the one prostitute, like, she has a baby, and she's, like, married to this dude, and they're like, oh...
but she's not a prostitute anymore.
So she's not a prostitute anymore. But she used to be. And they're all like, oh, we're so happy for you. And then, like, her baby and her husband all get, like, kidnapped by, like... what do you know? That's exactly what happened.
No, it's not. The baby is with the frickin' prostitutes when they get kidnapped.
Okay, the baby's with the prostitutes, and then it's with the grandparents, and then it's in an orphanage because, like, they're trying to get rid of this baby. They're trying to get rid of the prostitute. And, like, the prostitutes are getting hunted down, like, one by one by Jack the Ripper. And the movie plays, you know, games with you. It's like, oh, is it the special police guy? Could it be Johnny Depp? Like, who is Jack the Ripper? And he goes and he consults, like, Bilbo Baggins. And Bilbo Baggins is like, oh, man, if you're looking for, like, you know, specialty surgery knives, like, look at these. I got some of these. But, like, it's probably, like, somebody who knows, like, human anatomy. And Johnny Depp's like, thanks, dude. And there's this whole conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I think, really interesting.
Well, yeah, which makes the movie, like, 10 times more interesting. Where, like, the Freemasons are involved.
Mm-hmm. Because of the way that, like, the bodies were, like put, and, like, the stuff that, like...
was taken out of the bodies,
mm-hmm.
and then there's, like, a message at, like, one of the bodies.
About the Jews, but the Jews is spelled wrong.
Yeah. And Johnny Depp, being, like, this amazing detective, like, figures this whole thing out where... And here we're gonna spoil everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't seen From Hell, like, get ready. You've had 18 years.
Yeah.
So, Johnny Depp discovers that the prince, the son of, like, Queen Victoria, married this prostitute
mm-hmm.
in a Catholic church.
Mm-hmm.
These prostitutes were the victims, were the witnesses, and they have this child who is, like, heir apparent to the throne of England.
Yep.
And Queen don't like that at all.
Not only that, but that he got syphilis.
He also got syphilis
the
from
prince.
A prostitute, if not his wife prostitute.
We don't know.
That's not really established. And that his, like...
Because at one point they think that the prince is Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, that's not possible. Like, his syphilis is, like, severe.
Yeah. So... You find out that it's his physician
mm-hmm.
is Jack the Ripper, which is Bilbo Baggins.
Yes.
And they did this really cool trick that, like, is very subtle, but, like, once they reveal that Bilbo Baggins is Jack the Ripper and he's going to kill the last prostitute, which is Heather Graham, they blacken out his eyes
mm-hmm. and
they make him look a little bit more demonic.
Because he has a brain tumor.
Yeah.
So he had gotten the brain tumor, and... So because he's, like, the physician to the prince, like, he was, like, super ticked off that the prince had syphilis and, like, knew the path ahead. And so, like, he was doing all this stuff, but he was, like, doing, like, really messed up stuff to these prostitutes because he had this brain tumor.
Yeah, like, they would just want, like, the queen just wanted him to, like, hush up these prostitutes, but instead he's cutting them up and playing with their body parts and, like, leaving secret messages.
And possibly eating the body parts?
Oh, no, he ate at least one person's, like, body parts.
Yeah, because it, like, mentions it, and you're like, is he just saying this because he's crazy, or is he, like, legit
No,
eating
it shows him cooking it up and eating it. And it's, like, not cooked all the way, and it's all bloody and
I forgot about that. I was just really hoping that was, like, not body part.
Yeah, but, like, and then, like, you find out he was part of the Freemasons, and the Freemasons are, like, pissed, and then they...
Well, they're only kind of pissed.
Yeah, they're only kind of pissed, but
they, like, congratulate him on doing the job, but then they're like, you are freaking nuts.
Yeah. They give him, like, a frontal lobe lobotomy. They give the prostitute wife a frontal lobe lobotomy.
So that she's crazy and she can't tell anybody.
Yeah, because, like, again, it was mostly supposed to be, like, a hush-hush thing and not, let's make these big murder things happen. But, like, the big murder things happened.
Because even the queen was like, oh, his service will be whatever. Like... Because she says something about how his service was, like, great or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Like, the queen's super happy that all the prostitutes are dead, but, like, she's also, like, not happy about the situation.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp's able to sneak the baby out of, like, the orphanage and
save the
last prostitute is not killed by Jack the Ripper because there was a secondary last prostitute that was not part of the original group who gets murdered. She, like, goes to live a quiet life back in Ireland with, you know, the baby heir apparent. A quiet life. Johnny Depp had fallen in love with her at some point.
They fell in love with each other.
Yeah. And
he was worried because they said that they were going to be watching him, so he didn't want to go to her because they were worried that they would, like, be like, where's this dude going? All of a sudden, like, he's just packing up and leaving, and would find them and kill them.
Mm-hmm. And so he stays behind. She lives a quiet life. She raises the baby. He has a vision of, like, the baby being, like, 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. And she's all like, Mommy, Mommy, and, like, they're happy out in Ireland. Mm-hmm. So apparently have a good life. And then Johnny Depp, like, overdoses and dies.
Yep.
And
Hagrid finds him and puts the coins on his face.
Yeah, because he was like all about the ancient Greek like river Styx, pay the toll.
Yeah.
Type thing. So that was kind of like a sweet ending, though it was like really kind of sad and messed up that it happened.
Yeah.
Now I have not read From Hell, so I cannot do any kind of comparison with that.
Okay, we'll have to, if we find it, we'll have to pick it up or something.
Yeah. But I will say, I enjoyed this movie far more than the other one.
If you, well, I mean, I own it, but, like, if I had showed you this, like, I rented it, would you go out and buy it?
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
Own that.
Yeah.
Show it to your friends who aren't squeamish, because, oof.
Because, like, we burned through, like, From Hell because, like, we expect you to have seen this. And, like, I don't know anybody that I've talked to that was like, yeah, I watched Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah,
so that's why we did the kind of, like, in-depth version of it.
If you need an in-depth, if you're looking for an in-depth version of From Hell, let us know. And we'll definitely, like, break it down like we did Gotham by Gaslight.
I will say that, if my memory serves, it's not highly remarked as being a great movie. That it has, like, kind of mixed reviews where, like, some people like it, some people hate it, some people feel it's in the middle. I don't think it's, like, one of the best movies I've ever seen.
But it's definitely good.
It's definitely enjoyable.
Yeah.
Where, like, if I found this in a store for, like, $10,
yeah,
I wouldn't complain spending $10 on it.
No, and it has Johnny Depp in it, and it has, like, memorable people in it who obviously are decent actors. And
that I only know as their memorable roles.
Yeah, like
Bilbo
Hagrid.
Baggins and Hagrid. And Heather Graham.
But like not only that, but it also just has a neat little spin on things.
It is a neat little spin. Again, I'm not familiar with the comic, so if it's not comic book accurate and people are like, well, you know, Johnny Depp's supposed to be like this, and he wasn't.
Yeah, we have no idea.
I don't know. I'm going at it completely subjective, and I'm that kind of person who likes to watch a movie then read the book.
Which you're freaking weird.
No, because the book is always it's 100% of the time always better than the movie.
Yeah, but
so
then,
you're not disappointed.
But then when you read the book, you're always picturing the people from the movie into the book, and you're not like forming your own. Like, you're not forming your own characters that you're supposed to form.
I mean, yeah, but like either you don't form your own characters or you get disappointed. And you know what? I'd rather not be disappointed.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Again, that's let us know what you do. Do you read the book and then watch the movie? Do you watch the movie then read the book? Am I the weirdo or is Jen? Let us know.
Or are you one of those people who don't read the books or don't watch the movies?
Yeah, I mean, some people are just like.
Yeah.
Like, Alan Moore is like, I think after one of his movies, he's just like, you know, I'm not even gonna freaking watch these movies anymore. Screw it.
So, yeah, we'd like to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed part 2. I hope you're not here starting at part 2 and you skipped part 1.
Yeah.
But we have some other videos. We got action figure reviews and customs. We have some other podcasts. And we even have some craft videos.
And Jen's video games.
Thanks. I don't really. Yeah. But we have a lot more videos coming. So, like it says, subscribe for a new video every week. We're so glad you're here. And yeah, just thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for, spending your time with us.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.